Here we are today, freelancing with Sonny, interviewing Carl Baird, formerly of the Strugglers, or you said
Formerly of the Strugglers, yes, my band that I created, designed, and manipulated, yes.
Oh yeah, and what's the name of the new project?
This new project is called Fierce Creep, not to be fooled by Bear Creek or anything like that. Fierce Creep.
The fiercest.
We're actually pretty fucking fierce, I gotta say, man. I'm fucking digging it. We got a great singer, Turf, she's amazing, and we've got Dennis Mail on bass and me on drums. That's it. No guitars, no offense.
Yeah.
We're anti-guitar army.
Awesome. Hey. That's a concept. From 6 guitars to no guitars.
To no guitars. Don't take it personal.
No.
All you guitar players out there, we hate you all equally.
All right. That's fine. Thank you. Now, where did it all begin for Carl?
For me, it all began, I was born in England, Portsmouth, England.
What year?
1967.
All right.
I used to go back and forth there quite a bit and buy records and all that kind of stuff. I remember going to England in 1978 with my grandfather up to London to buy Sex Pistols. Never mind the bollocks. But I had a drum kit when I was about 11 years old. My dad gave me a Stewart drum kit, a jazz kit, when I was 11 years old. And played that for many years, listening to records and stuff like that. And then I got a band going. I was 16 called The Vortex, which was named after some club in England. And it was a guy in a Casio keyboard and a guy on guitar, Jim Cleland, Scott Turner on bass. That was the first band I was ever in. And then I was like 16, 17 years old. And this guy, Joe, knocked on my door and said, "We're looking for a drummer." And I said, "Well, who the fuck are you?" And he said, "Well, we play in this band called The Activists." And I was too young to play in the clubs. I couldn't get in. These guys were like, of age, right? So we used to set up our gear. We went up to Toronto. We picked up a kit. And Joe Abbott. And the bass player was from one of the first punk bands ever in Canada, 24 Sussex. It was this guy named Dave. He played a fretless bass. And Joe Abbott, and Laura was the singer. She's now a talented jazz singer in St. Catharines, Ontario. And we used to set up in a place called Jerry's Alley. Jerry's Alley was, for my opinion, the greatest punk rock bar, ground zero in Canadian history. Just my opinion. All you people, Jerry's Alley, I know you know Jerry's Alley. It was the coolest place ever. Greatest music. So we used to practice there. And they had opened up for The Exploited back in like 86 or something like that. And then I moved out of St. Catharines and I came to Vancouver.
After Paul Bernardo, you felt...
Paul Bernardo, do you know what? Paul Bernardo, he was from down the road. Actually, I went to Sir Winston Churchill High School. And the girl that was his wife, what's her name?
Carla
Homolka, was in the same school. She went to the same school as me. And he used to go to like semi-formal dances, and I remember eating like, well, let's not go there, but we were, quite out there back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And apparently I punched him in the mouth, but I don't remember any of it. So I think it's all urban myth bullshit, so I don't think so.
It wouldn't shock me, but that's...
It wouldn't shock me either, but I would remember something like that, you know what I mean? But I'll let that go. I'll take pride in that bullshit, as a lot of people do these days.
No, a lot of people would like to punch him.
I'm sure they would.
Everywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. Including yourself, would you? Punch him in the gut? You give him a rib shot.
You know what? I would
one of these.
No, you never know. Oh, you never know what you do. Because I'm so nice. I'm so nice,
I know you're nice.
Yeah, so we'll leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that.
Although my brothers, I said if I were one of the...
You got brothers?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Really?
And I said, when they saw the movie The Avengers, I said, which one would I be? And my brother said, well, the Jolly
the nicest
Green,
one.
The Jolly Green fellow, of course.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can't picture it, but yeah, it's the potential.
I can picture it. I've been picturing it the whole time I'm sitting there.
Alrighty,
Then I came out to Vancouver.
Alright.
When I came out to Vancouver, I hooked up with a guy named Terry Bastilny.
I know
Terry, crazy, fucking crazy, badass Terry. Love him.
Yeah.
And he plays a band called The Simpletons. And it was me and a lot of people came in and out of that band. and we did his songs. We played a few shows with Toby and stuff like that, and that's how I got my drum kit out here. So put it on his credit along the way, and I kept the kit. And then what did I do from there? We recorded, we did some songs. Then I got into a band called The Dole.
Yeah.
And The Dole did quite well actually after a while. I always quit. I'm kind of a deconstructivist. I like to get it going and then quit at the pinnacle.
Yeah.
To fuck shit up. Because there's no point getting happy and comfortable in something, you know what I mean?
Complacent.
It's all about, yes man, it's all about fucking with shit.
Now, what was the scene like in England? Were you in a band in England?
No, I wasn't in a band. I was too young. But I used to go to see like some crazy shows and stuff like that. But I always thought the music scene over there was like, it's such an old school place, but yet they're so ahead in certain other areas than us. You know what I mean? And it's a weird juxtaposition of shit. Because on one hand, they're way ahead as far as music and stuff like that. But then you're sitting in like a 400-year-old pub, right? So it's a very weird dynamic over there. But amazing people, great storytellers, and all that shit. You know, it's a good laugh over there. Last time I was over there, it was probably about 15 years since I was over there last time, and I was going to school over there, shit like that.
15 years.
Yeah, that was last time I was there. Yeah.
And are you enjoying Vancouver?
I do enjoy it to a certain extent. Sometimes it's all right, sometimes it's not. But you make it what you can, right? And you do what you can. It's a good laugh sometimes. I've been out for 22 years now. I know I look 22.
Are you enjoying the ride?
The fucking ride is great, actually. And you know what? The ride's been going on for such a long time. I think it's crazy. Sometimes you think, like, when is the ride gonna end? And it just doesn't. It keeps going. What the fuck? You think sometimes it's gotta end. This is it.
Right now.
You don't want to get to the end?
You know what? I think you're a great guy. And as you mentioned,
You say that in every interview.
no, you're mentioning in England they're quite the storytellers. You're not a bad storyteller yourself.
I've got a few, man.
I noticed.
What do you want to hear? What do you want to know?
I don't have to know. I don't have
You just know. Oh.
I just here. This is a Carl interview. Hi, Carl.
Hi!
And then off he goes.
Off it goes. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm just gonna crash out and lay down here, and that's it. I go to
You
sleep for a
still
couple
got some
hours.
songs to go over.
We do. Fierce Creep, and we're playing June 9th. Funky Winker Bean's gonna be our first show with the new band, blah blah, and we're gonna play here July 7th. That's a benefit. We're gonna be playing Iron Road Studios.
One thing I have to say you're cool about, you said, Sonny, when's my interview coming?
I never said that. You've been hounding me, surrounding my apartment with a bunch of people. I can't go fucking anywhere without people, blah, blah, blah. When's the interview? When do you do that? And it's like, well, I don't know, man. I'll just say, let's get it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
No, I think that's brilliant. It was not an arm twister. This guy was most cooperable.
And you notice I'm not saying any bad things about anybody.
Yeah.
What's that about?
You know what? Because they got nothing good to say about themselves. Otherwise, when you have
I
history,
can't get my head around that.
I went to England. I was in this group. You're so busy.
I'm busy,
You know,
busy guy.
You're
Yeah,
so,
you're too busy. I used to play in like 6 bands at one time.
That's what
And and all that shit, right? But you're as a drummer, it's different that way, right? Like, cause you're the back line. You can go and blah 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 fit with anybody. And I always thought music was a blank canvas, right? Like, fuck, don't pigeonhole yourself and do one thing. It's the kiss of death, man. Like, do what the fuck you want to, as much as you want. Play with anybody you want. It's all fucking what you make of
It's
it. Right?
enjoyment.
Well, if you don't enjoy it, you know you're not enjoying it, right? And I think same thing with art. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so if one artist paints a fucking flower over and over and over again, you're not an artist.
Yeah.
An artist fucking creates all the time, man. That's what we do, right?
Now, who are your influences?
Keith Moon.
All right.
I would have to say Keith Moon. I'd have to say as drumming. Well, I do hate to say because I was never into grunge at all.
Yeah.
But Dave Grohl.
There you go.
It just as far as it's worth getting all the shit that he does, you know what I mean? But I always, and this may be sounding fucking off, but I tried not to listen to any other people. I just want to do my own shit, and because that way, I don't really want to be influenced or try to be. I don't want to sound like anybody. You know what I mean? I want my own thing, which is hard to do as a drummer. There's only so much.
You're an adult. We gathered that.
I'm not. I'm not. I will not be accused of that, and that's unfair of you to say that. All right, Ed.
All right. Now, what I'm getting at, we all accumulate a certain number of influences, for better or for worse.
That's true.
Who did you listen to growing up?
Okay. Well, my first album I ever had was a vinyl. I had Bill Haley and the Comets.
Wow.
Ling Ting Tong. Some crazy ass shit. Goofy Crates, Volume 2, K-Tel. And my father knew the guy at Bazaar Novelty in St. Catharines. And what they did, they had jukeboxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what he used to, the old man, like we used to go and know the guy. My dad was a bit of a, you know, he was an entrepreneur, kind of. He knew everybody, right? And so what they did, they had these jukeboxes, so they keep on taking the old 45s out, right?
Yeah.
So as a kid, I had so many 45s, and this is no word of a lie, I could build forts out of them. That's how many 45s I had. So I was never not listening to music. I fucking 45 after 45 after 45 after 45, keep going, blah, 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 play the drum, blah, 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 I used to hit a phone book, blah, 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 played everything all the time. And then, again, I was like 11. I used to listen to Genesis. I had a drum teacher for a bit. I used to listen to Genesis, David Bowie, all that kind of shit. And then in '78, we went over to England, and I was at my grandfather's fishing club, and I heard the Sex Pistols, and there was swearing in the music. And I thought, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm all about now, as you can tell by this interview. And that was it. We got up on a train and we went up from Portsmouth, we went up to London, and he wouldn't come in the store with me because that's where the punks were. And so we went in there and I bought that record, I brought it back to Canada, and I listened to that, I listened to the Diodes, I listened to the Tubes, I listened to the Damned, I listened to YYY, 999, I listened to all that shit. And then, as accumulated, eventually, music from New York, because I was in St. Catharines, music from New York, music from LA, the Bad Brains, Black Flag, of course, Dead Kennedys, and DOA, have called me up and asked me to try out for them a couple times, which is very cool of them. They're a seminal Canadian punk rock band. SNFU, all those guys, they would all start touring around and stuff, so coming around our area. So I basically, at that point, started jumping into bands and playing. I was the only punk rock drummer guy, so I got called quite a bit back then, right?
Any other musical influences?
I played in ska bands.
There we go.
I played the Biltmore in the Ska Spot All-Stars. I was asked to do that. I played the two-tone drummer, and we did that for like 36 weeks at the Biltmore. I played, up in Whistler, play a lot of reggae and ska gigs and stuff, and fill in and do that stuff. So I love that shit. I had a band called Cutthroat that I started, and we used to take, like punk type songs and turn them ska, and ska turns them punk, and kind of fuck with shit, called like a mashup and all that stuff, and do something different, it seemed at that point when punk rock is everybody's all doing the same. And as soon as you do that, man, and I can tell you exactly what they're gonna do, it's like, I'm sick of this shit,
It's predictable.
It's predictable.
It's not rock and roll
So what
anymore.
do you do, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I just went a whole different musical direction. And it taught me a lot, like to pull back and to do the opposite. It was really fucking cool and interesting to do, and it just gives you a new perspective on when you go back to doing, the punk rock.
Any country influence, blues?
No, absolutely not. And I hate to say that because you're a blues country guy, aren't you?
No, I'm a blues influence guy.
Really?
I'm more metal guy than anything.
Are you really?
Rock.
Huh. No, sorry, no. I no blues, no nothing like that. No, don't know anything about it.
Just ask him what's on your artistic palette.
I always played punk. I've been always, I don't know, I've listened to everything, but I've tried everything, but just mostly stayed in, punk and then ska, shit like that. Old school, oi, whatever,
cool.
all that stuff.
What is oi? How do we define
Oi? It would be music that, like, when punk kind of died out and went all new wave and record company, it was really started in the football stadiums and stuff in England, where it's like very rowdy, very street music, and it was very tough. It was like, no, it's no more bullshit. You make a decision right now. Are you fucking half in or half out, or what are you? And you're either one of them or you're not, and that's it. And it's it's very black and white. And oi music is just very, very heavy music. Cocky Rejects, The Oppressed, bands like that. It's good music, and it stands the test of time. And I wish more people would listen to it, because it's fucking great, actually. It gets you up, and it fucking makes you believe in something. And that is incredible, because so much music doesn't. You listen to it, cool, go on to the next thing. Well, that sticks with you.
Sounds like commitment.
Yeah.
It's either a yes or a no.
That's it.
In between.
You know, in between.
Hey, Carl.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother.
For being
Sorry about my hairdo. I just got finished it.
Freelance with Sonny.
Carl Baird.
Sonny
Thank you,
D,
Carl.
freshly squeezed.
All right.